Hello, and welcome to Name's 3 Days Weather Forecast. I'm Olubi Adedamola. As the ITD continues to surge southwards, so also is the prospect of having dusties being raised from the Sahara Desert into part of the northern fringes of the country, thereby reducing visibility as a result of dust plume making inroads into some parts of the northern cities. Likewise, the southern part of the country is also likely to also see some mixture of mist and fog patches, which is also likely to reduce visibility in the early morning hours. So while the north is coping with visibility as a result of dust reduction, the south should be wary of visibility reduction due to mist and fog patches, which is as a result of some inroads of moisture droplets from the Atlantic Ocean. And as we give you heads up, updates on Friday's evening's weather forecast, we expect moderate dusties to prevail in the north of the country in visibility of about 2 to 5 kilometers, and there are likelihoods of places around Dutse, part of Kano and Katsina, where localized visibility of less than 1,000 meters could be reported in some of these cities. Over the southern inland and the coastal areas, there are likelihoods of partly cloudy conditions with some chances of 1 or 2 areas around the southwest coast experiencing some thunderstorms in the afternoon and evening hours. Likewise, part of the southeast coast and part of the Niger Delta axis, with areas around Warri in mind. We expect the air quality conditions over the country to deteriorate further going into Friday evening, with most areas in the north central of Kano, Katsina, Kaduna, and environ still having poor air quality conditions, which might be quite unhealthy for sensitive groups, especially people that may be asthmatic. In the southwest inland as well, and part of Taraba and Adamawa, there are also likelihoods of poor air quality conditions affecting people in the sensitive category. We look forward to temperature over the north, ranging from 33 in the northwest to 35 over the northeast in the course of our weather forecast. But the minimum temperature as well, we could give cold and chilly atmosphere in the morning, are also becoming low, as Kano and Dutse reported 9 and 8 degrees Celsius as minimum temperature on Thursday morning. And we expect this to be what will play out going into our next 3 days. So people should take care of their loved ones and make sure they are dressed warmly when they go to bed in the night. Around the central cities, Abuja is likely to report a daytime high of about 36 degrees Celsius and minimum temperature of around 16 degrees Celsius. Over the southeast inland, we expect temperature to range between 32 to 34 degrees Celsius as maximum temperature, while over that of the southwest, Lagos, Ijebu-Ode, Ogun State, and environ, including Ibadan, we expect temperature to range within 33 to 35 degrees Celsius. As we move into Saturday, we expect the dust plume that may have been raised on Friday afternoon and evening to also culminate into some moderate dusty conditions over the north of the country, whereby some localized visibility of less than 1,000 meters are likely to be reported in the core northern fringes of the country of Katsina, Dutse, Kano, and part of Yobe as well. While as we move into the south, we expect some of this dust to start to advect into some of the southern inlands, but we still expect some partly cloudy conditions to hold in these areas, with some chances of thunderstorms still persisting over part of the southwest inland and the Niger Delta areas and part of the southeast inland as well. Areas around the coastal part of Calabar, Uyo, Eket, Port Harcourt, Owerri, Yenogwa are places in the southeast and south-south areas where we expect some chances of thunderstorms in the afternoon and evening hours. We expect the air quality condition to deteriorate further over the northwest of the country, and most especially the southwest inland areas of part of Ado-Ekiti, Oshogbo, and part of Shaki, where we expect unhealthy air quality conditions over these southwestern areas. Also, part of the southeast areas of Oka are also likely to have some poor air quality conditions, which could be unhealthy for the citizenry. Elsewhere, we expect holding conditions to persist, while moderate dusty conditions are expected to make these conditions worse over parts of the country. We still look forward to temperature, maximum temperature ranging to about 36 degrees Celsius over the northeast of Maiduguri and 34 over Yobe and Damaturu, while as we move to the northwest, we expect Sokoto to still report temperature around 35 degrees Celsius, while Kano is likely to have a maximum temperature of 32 degrees Celsius. Around the central cities, Abuja and environ are likely to report temperature within 32 to 37 degrees Celsius in the maximum range, while over the southeast coast, we expect temperature to still exist within 32 to 34 degrees Celsius, while the southwest areas will still have temperature around 33 to 34 degrees Celsius. By the time we are moving into Sunday, we expect the concentration of dust in the north to reduce to some extent, but visibility might still hold around 2 to 5 kilometers over most cities in the northern areas, while over the southern areas, we expect partly cloudy conditions and some isolated chances of thunderstorms still holding in notable areas around the southwest of Lagos, Ijebu-Ode, part of the Niger Delta of Warri and Asaba, and also part of the southeast areas of Port Harcourt, Uyo, and Calabar. We expect temperatures over these areas not to be too different from what we had on Saturday, as most areas in the northeast of Maiduguri and Yobe are still likely to report temperature around 35 to 36 degrees Celsius, while those in the northwest of Sokoto, Kebbi, and Zamfara are still likely to have temperature around 34 to 37 degrees Celsius. Around the central cities, we expect maximum temperature around 32 to 38 degrees Celsius over part of Niger and the FCT, while as we move into the south, we expect temperature to rise over the southeast coast areas to about 35 to 33 degrees Celsius, while that of the southwest will still range within 33 to 34 degrees Celsius. And that's where we leave you with this edition of our 3 days weather forecast. In the next 2 days, we'll give you updates. I'm Olubi Adedamola, and thank you for watching.